welcome back to Race Recap. My name is Jackson. Sorry we're a little behind, but we should be getting right back on schedule this week. Now, last weekend though, we had 4 of the 5 classes in the IMSA series racing on what I said was one of my favorite circuits. That's Laguna, Seca, in Monterey, California. Now let's take a look at why this is one of my favorite courses. Now, first off, I think it's because of so much elevation change that happens around the track. It's on a kind of a hilly little foothills type of course. And another part is, when you go off track, it's not the normal grass and dirt. There's a lot of gravel and kind of sand stuff on there. So when you go off, there's a lot of spray in the background. And I also like the elevation change, as I mentioned, which leads into this turn right here, the troublesome corkscrew turn. It's basically what it is in the name. It's a downhill, left, right, right, left, right. And basically it is a corkscrew. They have 8A actually, because it's not really turn 9, but it's a second part to turn number 8. Now, from the last video, I said I'd show it. This was the IndyCar at Barber Circuit. If you haven't seen that video, go back, watch that right now. But after that, actually, it was the IMSA drivers. They ran 2 hours and 40 minutes at Laguna. Now, on lap 1, it was turn 1, actually. It got very intense in the LMP2 class. First off, the pole sitter, the 11, Stephen Thomas, spun around. And then also, early on, the 18 in LMP2, Dwight Merriman, had a spin of his own. And then the next incident was brought out by Michael de Quesada in the number 28 GTD. That's a Mercedes AMG. The first and only full course caution was brought out for another Mercedes AMG, but this was the 57 car in GTD. It was Russell Ward who was in it at the time. He got off a little wide into that gravel sand trap that I said I liked earlier, and then he just lost all the grip and then spun back across the course and nosed it into the tire hard pretty into the inside wall, ripping the front of his car off, and that did end his day. And then there was no caution after Stephen Thomas in the number 11 in LMP2 made a great comeback to get back up front, but then lost it all again with another spin. And then there was no caution when the 81 of Juan Pablo Montoya spun on pit road. Actually, it is in the track description. This is a very tricky pit road. You see it right down here. When you come off of pit road, there's a kind of a tight corner, and if you hit the gas and brake wrong, you'll spin the tires and spin her out. And that's just what happened to the 81 of Juan Pablo Montoya. And then there was no caution when the 02 of Alex Lynn and DPI, who got a little wide, got off, kind of like we saw Russell Ward do earlier, and then got into the tire barrier. Not too hard, though, just a little nose damage, was able to continue on. And then there was no caution when the 28, Michael de Quesada, again, kind of did the same thing as what Lynn just did. The 02 car got off track, made a little contact with the nose into the tire wall. And then the checker flags overall in the race, and DPI went to Ricky Taylor and Philippe Albuquerque in the number 10 Acura. Acura got the win this weekend. And in LMP2, it was kind of a surprise for me. I didn't see this coming. The 8, John Ferrano and Louis Deltraz, both of them in LMP2, won the class. And then in GTD Pro, Matt Campbell and Matthew Jemine got it in that number 9 Porsche 911, and they have taken the lead in GTD Pro. And also the Daytona Rolex winners in GTD, Ryan Hardwick and Jane Halen, and another Porsche 911, that's a 16 car, they won overall in GTD. Well, that's all for Race Recap. Come join us in a little less than 2 weeks when we have 4 of the 5 classes racing on the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course.